We're the second most participating sport in the world. First is football,
Right.
but second is fishing, and not many people realise that.
When did you start canal fishing?
A little over when I was 10. Moved down this way, so just after when I was 10, about 40 odd years, about 40 years ago, canal fishing itself, but that's been on and off. And back in them days when I first started, there used to be a couple of big matches. We're talking 200 people on a Saturday, maybe a Sunday, both sides of the canal having matches. Some top names from the 80s and 90s would be fishing them. We used to come down as cheeky kids and turn around and say, "Got any spare maggots, mate? Got any spare maggots?" And like, we'd get our bait for the day. Or, "Oh, you ain't got a spare hook or spare float," so we get some of them bits and pieces. And it's one of the few hobbies or pastimes, or whatever you want to call it, that you can come back to at any time you want. And be taught to anyone and everyone. Do I need that up? Yeah, we'll put that up there. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Where are you? No, the joys of fishing. Guess what? You're in luck. One of the few little perch that are down there. Yeah, normally most places I go fishing, I don't get a bite until about 7:30. So we're a bit before that, but I don't know how good the camera is water-wise. But as I was bringing it in, it's being chased by another load of shoaler perch, and they're all coming in just there. So they're in and they're about, which is a bit of good news. Now we're getting back out there once we deal with this one. Just in case you're wondering, what I'm going to be doing is going to go in the keep net for the day, which is in that bag there. They can survive out of the water for a little while. Time wise, it just depends on what like the air temperatures are like. I know some people doubt it and say, nah, you don't know what you're talking about. No, you've got to be quick with it. But what's the definition of quick? Unhook it, throw it, or do what you got to do and then put it in the water. If it was a rainy day, then yeah, you could have them out for a little bit longer because they're still getting wet as such. Oops. Questions I get asked, if you want to go with them, is, it used to be many years ago, is there any life in here? And you say, yeah, there is. Or we'd catch a fish and they go, you got that from there? Yeah. You know. Now the number one question you get asked is, are you going to eat it? No. Been brought up to catch and release. I see a chip shop man or I see a Captain Birdseye for my fish. Yeah, which comes from the sea, obviously. But you do get people that come over here and they do eat the fish. And a lot of them now are actually turning against eating the fish. They're catching and releasing. They're bloody good fishermen as well. Don't get me wrong on that. But what people don't realise is this. What is in the bottom, the majority of London's waterways, is its history. Oh. So I've got a big one chasing it. That's a little roach I've got on there. I know this, actually, tell you what. Where is it? Yeah, that's one of the things with perch. They are one of the predators in here. And, oops. Sometimes what will happen is, as you just see there, you'll get a big perch, or even a pike will come in chasing it and try and grab it. At the moment, it's a little bit deep hook, so I've got to get the hooks out. Oh, because I'm backwards and forwards between my gear. No, what it is that I know the fish are up the tunnel, but I don't want to be sitting right on top of it. I want a bit of space between me and the fish, because this one's slightly bigger. Let's see if I can get this. Purchase defence is that thin. That's got little spikes on it, and if you can see it coming up. Yeah. That's right. Got my. Come here, little tyke. Now, purchase fins. Its dorsal fin is its defence. So if another fish tries to eat it, it puts it up, and they're just like little pins into the roof of the mouth of the fish. The other thing they've got is a little spike just there at the end of the gills, and they're not poisonous to touch like a lot of people get told.
When do I haven't heard that before.
Yeah, no, I've heard it so many times. Oh, I'm not touching it because they're poisonous. It's like, no, they're not. They're not a what's that fish? A lion mane fish. Yeah, they're dangerous. They're saltwater fish. Them sort of fish. Uh-oh, what I didn't want, but it's happened. One maggot. Now with perch they're also greedy little sods and they tend to swallow the hook.
So how do you get it out?
Yeah, you have to go in and sort of find it. Got it. Yeah, he's alright.
Swimming down?
Up the top, be alright after a little while. That's the only problem. It's one of the things I hate with perch. They swallow the hook deep. That's why, yeah, got barbless on. Barbless hooks a bit easier to get out than barbed hooks, but they can still be a pain because you still got to go with a perch digging down to get it, which is not really good.
Yeah, I just soon dry off, Jack.
Yeah.
First bite I had though, decent bite I had.
You might need a call for antibiotics now, though.
Too lazy for that.
Dedication,
It was around my legs. Yeah, but when I was speaking to him, it's right, look.
Come on, Jacko!
I felt it around my feet.
Oh,
It was there.
Good
The
job,
line,
you
the line strap, look.
Good
No,
job
look.
you live
Look,
close.
the line strap, look.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just rubbed her off. Didn't it?
Yeah. It was there, I felt it around my feet. Oh shit, sorry. My phone in a minute.
You didn't go with your phone, Jack, surely.
Yeah, I knew that one in my pocket.
Yeah, but you're dripping it all in your charging port.
Oh yeah, that's
I
all right.
like you, mate.
That's it, I tried it.
Yeah.
So what happened exactly?
What?
With that, how come he jumped in?
Because he wanted to get the fish, my dear. That's what carpies do. I'm not a
They'll
carpy.
take it.
Listen, these people take fishing as religion. Like, you know what I mean? Everything's carp. They go out and spend thousands of pounds, like, you know what I mean? These people, like, sit on a bank for months on end. Like, you know, and there's no guarantee of a fish, like, you know what I mean? But, like, these people take it, like, you know what I mean, as a gospel, like, they've got to do it, like, you know what I mean? They get hooks on it. It's like a drug. Because as soon as they get the carp in, it's like an adrenaline rush. And I enjoy it. That's what I do. But I'm not a carpy, I'm just lucky to catch anything, because I know all I caught here was baby common, and that was, like, all last season. But, like, I ain't really caught a big carp on this lake, because it's very, very hard to catch them. Not unless you've got it spot on, you won't catch nothing, like, you know what I mean? I know people, and that guy over there, Charlie, black guy, like, he's plotted up here for 2 months with a bivvy, right, and he never had no bites for about 2 or 3 weeks, like, you know what I mean? Not in one single bite. He threw everything in it. Do you know why? Because in this lake, my darling, the same as every other lake, right, I mean, this is a council lake. If you go to a proper fishery, right, okay, you get about 6 people on the actual lake. But here, if you've got to count the amount of swims you've got here, right, okay, and you put 2 rods in, right, now if you've got 2 rods for 12 swims here, that's 24 lines going out, my dear. That's 24 lines going out in one lake. And what a lot of people do, right, after they finish the session, they throw the bait in. So the fish know. The fish ain't stupid, right, okay, because when the evening comes, right, and it gets dark and all that, like, all they do is go round the skirtings, the margins, and they pick up the bait, you know. After the fisherman's already thrown it in, but during the day it's very, very hard, my dear. You've got to have some luck, you've got to be a dedicated, like, you know what I mean, carpet, you know, but I'm not one of them. And I don't care. I don't care. I'll just say it for the day, keeps me out the pub. Keeps me out the pub. This is secret, you see. Like, you know what I mean? All fishermen go fishing. They give me excuses and all that lot, okay? But I want to do one or two things. Keep out the pub or keep away from the missus. Like, you know what I mean? When I say they're going fishing, they're off with the boys. You know what I mean? Biggest excuse, of course. The missus or the girlfriend, they don't care. They get rid of them, don't they? Yes, you may go. See you later. Bye-bye. Don't come back crying to me if anything happens and all that lot, but that's a lot of fishing. You know? A lot of women should take it up. You know?
There's only 12 fishing bays now, and there's all bulrushes in between. They're all taken over by guys who are here overnight or get here really early. So when the kids come over, like I used to, just to float fish, there's nowhere they can get into. When before it was concrete all the way around, it didn't matter how many people you had here, you could always get the kids in. And now they can't come over. They've cut half of it off over there for the birds, but all the birds are here. So when you get kids come over and they just want to fish, it keeps them off the estates and things like that. They can't fish. I mean, it kept me out of trouble. You know, it's when instead of stealing cars, I'll go here fishing.
Did you go up fishing around here, like at this place particularly?
Since I was 11. There's only 2 lakes really you can fish. There's here and Clapham. There's a few other private little lakes, but there is no fishing in London. You know, they need more places like this for people to fish. There is nothing. There's a couple of other lakes, but you've got to be a member. You know, and it's just you have to wait years for a membership. So if you don't drive, you can't really fish. This is the only place you can fish. You've got a few Surrey Keys, but they're members as well. You've got to be a member. You know, so for a kid who just wants to come over, they just can't do it. There's nowhere for them to go. They can't really fish safely down by the Thames or the Keys because it's so deep. Here, they're safe. You know, but as you can see, there is nowhere for them to fish. Absolutely nowhere. You know, it's terrible. Oh yeah, they're tearing the estates down and they're moving out all the people from the estates. You know, as they did all down here from the castle. They're all tower blocks. They're all, you know, private apartments, a couple of $100,000. And all the council ones, they're moving out. You know, it's that's the way it is. You know, they're moving us out of London, all the middle class around here. You know, it's just, you know, it's disgusting. All the estates. You know, don't get me wrong, these estates need to be demolished, but you know, they're moving everyone out.
a response to the incremental closing of angling bank on the ponds on Hampstead Heath had me very disappointed and quietly furious that areas I'd fished as a teenager and then with my sons was now closed to fishing. Fishing representation with the Heath authorities was zero, and so they'd either ignored or overlooked the fact that angling had been going on pretty much since the ponds were dug out 300 odd years ago to give fresh water to the people of the Hampstead area. Engagement with the Heath authorities was very tough to commence. As a single individual, it was impossible. So I therefore contacted the regular anglers on Hampstead Heath, gave them my details and convened a meeting in the Flask pub in the summer of 2018. So the 20 odd attendees elected me as chairman and a quorum of a committee. In his absence, yes, I've got the Treasurer's report.
Actually, the next item is
Matters
Tony
arising.
Murphy. Where are we? Correspondence is the next item.
Correspondence, okay.
Treasurer's now, yeah.
Correspondence, I've had a number of correspondence with the Heath authorities, the main one being our application for the access to the lakes for the tuition sessions. There's a 20-page events form that Caroline and I filled in about a month ago, and today I got the message that they hadn't received it yet, and told them where to look, and they did find it. In fact, it was where the events form said send it to this Hampstead Heath address, and there it was. So they found the events form.
Nothing new.
Now, because we've got to do this well in advance of any tuition sessions, and we want to have some trial sessions as well to determine best methods and so on. There he is, the man himself. Hello, Charles.
Hi, Troy.
Well done.
First day back at work, come on, give me a break.
Right.
You did.
Take a few, Charlie. Good to see you, mate. So give it a go day, 17th of July. So, unfortunately, I'll be in Cornwall that day.
I'll be on the Wonder Weekend.
Right. So, I mean, we do plenty of stuff beyond that date. But if we want to have a stall, some flyers and some kit, then we'll need to have folks stepping up to the plate to deputise.
Sorry, what date's that?
17th of July.
Do we have access to a gazebo?
I don't.
No.
So you're...
Imagine within the group?
Yeah, I can get one.
I'm sure we can get some.
Okay, so 17th of July, is that a Saturday or a Sunday? Do we know?
So Sunday.
Sunday. Oh, okay.
And you're not going to get deaf by a PowerPoint presentation at all, by the way.
Good.
So we need a website. It's pretty obvious. Any organisation needs a website today, not least for publicity, to let to broaden our outreach.
Yes,
So I started looking into it idly, and a little Google research gave me an organisation or a company called Clubmate. I thought this is exactly what we're looking for, and what they specialise in is writing websites for fishing clubs and angling societies all over the country. And they've got a really quite good portfolio of hundreds of fishing clubs, rather like ours.
Would it not be beneficial for us to work with Clubmate and the Heath together, because Clubmate is who the Heath uses? So maybe, as I remember one meeting before, can't remember who brought it up, I think maybe yourself, Chris, brought up about joining the Heath and joining the society together. So then it's split between.
It is a City of London Corporation. That's interesting. I didn't know that could be something which could change
That's what
it.
they use.
We might need to think about
And a lot of fishing clubs now actually use Clubmate for renewing of memberships.
Well, that's what it's all about.
And also,
It's all about the admin.
Well, I have to say, actually, I mean, this whole website business was news to me coming into this meeting, and what hasn't happened, so as far as I can tell, is any discussion amongst ourselves what we actually want a website for. You know, I don't see why we need any kind of support for membership revenue, anything like that at the moment. Or admin stuff, I don't think is relevant for us. Website, do we need one for publicity? Why not use Facebook? You know, we haven't had
Yes, we do need.
discussed
I think we do
why
need.
not
it.
try and
Why go to all the faff of the website when it's been mentioned to the extent that it has, it's been to get publicity for us, raise our profile. So Facebook's an easy way to do that quickly, rather than build a website.
Okay, well I've built one, so there you go.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, the thing is, my point here is that,
Yeah.
that rather than like you just, I mean, I don't know where the idea came from, that you go and build a website, but surely we should discuss things as a club before we go off and take action unilaterally, which might also include, you know, cost.
well, we felt as an organisation that, and Bob asked me if I could do it, so I did it.
This
I'm not criticising you.
But
This
basically,
happened
did a long
at,
time ago.
yeah, and the decision was at committee level rather than
it's not me going.
rather than me
Okay,
saying
sorry, I
I'm
must have
going to
missed
do
it.
it. Jamie Muir has made the film, and in order for that film to be out there, he needs it to be on our website.
Okay, so listen, I'm not a professional website developer at all. This is written in something called Wix. If anyone's a professional website developer, forgive me. I mean, I do know a bit about HTML and so on, but I use this because it's quick and easy, and anyone can, with a bit of training, can maintain it. So if I'm not around, somebody else could very easily do it. So this is looking a little right. So this is just a version 1.
Absolutely aren't you?
This
I
is
love the choice of photo. That's all I'm going to say.
This is version 1.
That's classic.
This is me deciding what to put into a website after thinking about it.
Right.
So any ideas, they're greatly received.
Mr. Chairman, can I make a couple of points?
Yeah.
My first point is about security. How secure once you put your data into the
There's
website?
no data being. That's a very good point.
How secure
There's
is
no
it?
data being. Right.
You need a firewall or something. You know?
It is firewall. It's got what it calls a secure socket layer.
Well,
Now-
you need to establish what level of security it is and whether you need to improve it.
Yes, it is. The Data Protection Act is very important, and if we are not, we're not holding any data in a database on anyone. Okay, for that very reason.
Yeah.
But I will do some more research on the security
Yeah, just
issues.
establish the.
That's why I don't want a forum on it either,
Yeah.
because
It's just that it combines with my second point was that websites like this always that you are prone to attacks from the anti-angling brigade, wherever they might be.
Yeah.
Protecting your data protects you from being attacked by them.
yeah.
So you need to, you know.
I don't. That's why I agree with you, and I
That's
don't.
the reason
we're
why
not holding any data on. Any, you know, the fact that we collect. If they can send an email, we're not holding any data in any database, right, of anybody.
Yeah.
And one of the other angling clubs I'm in, they had a big problem with viruses getting in by people being able to upload photographs on a forum.
Well, the anti-angling brigade, they will do that if they can, and they will attack you.
Yeah.
So you need to be prepared for it. You know?
That's what would worry me about going on Facebook. Facebook gets hacked completely. You know, we would be in that, wouldn't we, involved in that.
Well, I can understand you're anti-Facebook. I know there's a lot of people that is. But the trouble is, when you look at today's marketing.
It's
And
also sort of
It's social media.
Yeah.
Social media, it's one of them things we've got to protect ourselves, obviously, as Chris is saying. But with Facebook, it is so, I mean, I'm part of Roman Tackle Group on there, and they are everywhere on Facebook. I look, as Roger knows, because he's
Yeah, I agree with you, Charlie, that we either do it or we don't do it. You know,
if we don't do any social media, we are non-existent.
This connects. I forgot to show you that it connects to Twitter, Instagram, everything immediately.
I was going to say that point. We've got a social media person I'm working with, and the Facebook is a certain age group. For the younger people, it's TikTok and Instagram nowadays, and that's where they're going from. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Trouble is, I don't know TikTok well enough.
Yeah, I know. It's, you know, for somebody that actually knows it and does it, you know. Yeah.
Security is high on my list.
Especially if you're going to have young kids who are going to put their data on there, you know.
They're not going to put the data on.
That's even more important than adults, you know.
Especially pictures.
Yeah, especially pictures, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Are there any problems about us? Is there any issue about us actually owning the fishing, which actually belongs to the City of London?
That's acknowledged, and I think it would need to be cleared. It would need to be cleared. I mean, the stuff I put up there. I've just put this together myself.
Yes.
So I've given links to the Angling Trust. I've said that everyone's got certification and DBS checked. That might all be wrong. It's just as I was doing it. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that would all have to be verified.
Yes, we mustn't encourage
before it's all
something
published
that doesn't
properly.
belong
Yeah.
to us.
And can you, I'd like to take my time to think about what's on there and
I can send you the
comments. So if you can send me the link, yeah, then
I'll send you all this one.
off the cuff, I mean, I'm thinking I wouldn't allow any comments from the outside world on that for what we've just been talking about. Yes, a contact form's great, yeah, as long as someone's on the other end responsible. We need to say who's responsible for dealing with contacts, so that if someone does contact us on the website, then we get back to them, doesn't just leave them hanging.
Yeah.
I think the stuff about book a session or register interest for tuition, I'd take that off at the moment, because we're managing the contact with the schools in a more informal way, I believe. So I don't think we're kind of in a position to be advertising yet.
We're sort of in the house, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so. I think this website should primarily be a way of another window into the world for people to find out about us.
Anything can be taken off.
I think it's great, actually, what you've done. It's really good work. And in terms of how it portrays us with pictures and the events calendar, that's just stuff that's perhaps better done on a website than on Facebook. The other thing is, Facebook's good for some things, this is good for another, so we need to make sure we're not duplicating, perhaps. Those are my initial thoughts, but like I say, I wouldn't mind seeing the link, Dave.
No problem. Play game.
How long have you been using this method?
Since I was a teenager.
Tried and tested.
Then carbon fibre came along. So everything became lighter, more responsive. So holding a wooden rod all day long would be quite a test of endurance, but with a light carbon fibre rod, it's like a wand. I wrote this poem some 10 years ago. It's essentially my history. It's called The Angler's Plea. 10 years old and fishing with Dad. It's been pouring with rain. We're cold and wet, but the fish were biting and I'm reluctant to leave. Just one more cast, Dad. Just one more cast. 16 years old and an outing with the fishing club. The weighing in is completed and everyone's heading for the coach. But I'm still getting a fish a chuck. Just one more cast, mister. Just one more cast. 26. And I've got the girlfriend in tow. It's December and there's snow on the ground. I'm wearing thermals, but she's dressed for the disco. Just one more cast, love. Just one more cast. 35. And I'm fishing with my sons. It's a glorious stretch of the Thames near Marlow. We've all caught plenty, but the food's all gone and they're getting bored. Just one more cast, lads. Just one more cast. 95, and my love for angling remains undimmed. I wield the rod not only for myself, but also on behalf of those who've come and gone. Despite the failing sight and the complaining physique, I cannot resist the lure of the river. Just one more cast, God. Just one more cast. But it's here and now, and I'm 70, though still very much a boy at heart. Past specimens have faded into myth. Future prizes fill my dreams. The dip of the float, the pluck on the rod tip, the rise to the fly still quicken my pulse. I've been blessed in my life. No need to lie. No need to ask for one more cast. Thank you. Yes, I was dumped by this gorgeous girl called Sally, who was a somewhat wayward character. I found out I'd been dumped and had to move out from her flat. And as things often happen, I was out of luck in other ways too. Business was bad, I was flat broke, and my car needed £200 worth of treatment and repairs. £200 I didn't have. The clutch was broken and the battery was dead flat. But I did have £20 in my pocket, enough for a few gallons of petrol and a couple of pints of maggots. And I could bump start the car on the gentle incline outside my new bedsit. So off I went. 6 a.m. I'm on the North Circular Road by Hanger Lane when I've stalled the car. So the only alternative was to do a bump start in reverse into the oncoming traffic, which was building up into rush hour. But a space came, I went for it, the car sprang into life and off I went all the way to Marlow. I parked the car on the steep incline down to the boatyard where I was sure I could effectively do a bump start on the journey home. So, loading my gear into the boat, I had a beautiful day catching fish, autumn colours, lifted the spirits, helped to restore the soul. And then as evening kicked in, the rooks were going back to their roosts, the coots were looking for cover, and it was time for me to row back in this charcoal landscape. And then loading the gear into the car, bump start down the steep descent. Nothing happened. There was no spark. The damp autumnal weather must have seeped into the intestinal wirings of the car. I had one last chance, the slipway where boats are launched into the river. And with 6 inches to spare, the car sprang into life. I reversed like mad up to the top of the hill, drove home without a hitch. Later that evening, sitting, reclining on the mattress on the floor, the house cat purring on my lap, smell of Caribbean cooking wafting under the floor. I consoled myself that life wasn't so bad after all.
Yeah, have a good day anyway.
So, what brings you to this environment for fishing rather than the parks then?
One, I was going to say it's a bit more peaceful, but you've got all the construction going on, but that's a different matter altogether. So, with the docks, they're underfished, they're underrated. There's less people about. But you can go other places. You could turn up. You could look at it, say on the Friday, no one's there. And then you come down on the Saturday, and the place is rammed with people. Hey! First fish. Ouch. Tight. Nice little feisty perch. If someone wants to learn fishing, I'll quite happily try and teach them. Like I'm doing with my mate James there. Met him one day, we were spinning, he said he wanted to do fishing. I said okay, but I'm also teaching him the other sides of fishing, like with the float fishing, the leisure fishing. But he mainly wants to do the lure side of fishing, but I'm also teaching him that as well. One of the things I noticed that he was having problems with was his casting, his accuracy. So I was finding a spot and saying, cast to there, helping him out that way. Another thing people don't realise is that you come down on the bank, you set your gear up, you fish away, and you can just zone out. You forget all your troubles, forget all your problems. Forget you're in London. Done that a few times until you hear a police siren or a helicopter going over and you're like, oh, we're still here. But it's just enjoyable. For me itself, as I said, it's recharge my batteries, get a break from what I'm doing. Because I've always said, the moment you put the brakes on life, that's when life has got you. And that's it, you're dead. End of. So I think, right, no, sod you mate, I'm going fishing. And that's it. At one time, I was actually on the computer playing games between 18 to nearly 24 hours a day for a good few years. I've gone through, a couple of years when I was younger. I didn't even leave my bedroom. I was on the computer, doing programming at the time, playing games at the time. The only time people would see me was like when I come out for something to eat or if I had to go shops. No one would see me for them couple of years. Not even me mates. And then as come out of that, started going out with mates and that. Then what was it? But even with my other half, I was fishing for a little while, stopped fishing. Then I started playing the games. So I was on the games for a couple of years. And then come off the games. And there have been years where I ain't really been doing anything and I've not been fishing. But the only way to describe it in a sense, it is that way. Fishing is my addiction. The same way that people get withdrawal symptoms from drugs and all that, I could end up with the same symptoms, which I have come close to a couple of times. I'm not talking about the sweats and fevers and all that lot. I'm talking about the anxiety, the frustration, the annoyance, all that building up, and you got to release. You got to release it, but it's how do you release it? If you ain't got a release, then how do you release it? So, when Mother Nature got the ump with the planet, I end up, someone said to me, yeah, you was stressed out. I didn't realise it at the time, but I was literally stressed out. Biting me nails. I think it was, chewing me gum, chewing me tongue. I was catching myself doing that and I was stopping it. My other half would say to me, what's wrong with you? I'd say nothing. In the sense of, nah, I'm good, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it, don't worry. But she knew. But she's just like, yep. So that's when I started my little fishing projects and all that, which was the float making. That, strangely enough, the float making, the rod building, that helped me get through with all that lockdown and all that, over the frustrations. That helped me calm me down quite a bit. And then when we could go fishing, it was like, yes mate, see you later, I'm gone, I don't care. As I say to people, World War III could be kicking off, yeah, and I'm going fishing, bye. Enough, you know, but when you go fishing, you're second guessing yourself, but your brain ain't said at the end of the day, I've had enough, I quit. Your brain's like, okay, so what can we do to improve it for next time around? And that's the thing. So next time I come down here, it might be a case of, where's my float? It's alright. Oh, no wonder why. Oh, we've got a fish on. Oh, it's only another little tiddler. Oops. Looks like one of this year's little fry. So whether they make it into next year or not, it's a different matter. They've got to make it through the winter.
Extraordinary amount of kit in it. These bulging pockets. A multitude of flies, all of which are absolutely essential. I mean, you don't catch fish unless you've got thousands of flies.
They're beautiful.
Well, they're designed to catch the angler as much as the fish. As I mentioned, fly fishing begins 1st of April. And there will be small flies emerging that time of year. Tiny things, gnat-like things. So they will be very small. And if you cast a bigger fly, it will just be ignored. It's not like you're presenting a Sunday lunch and they've only got an appetite for a small snack. So fish are also very wary of something on the surface that may or may not behave naturally. Fishing line from underneath can look like a telegraph pole going across the fish's line of vision. And if on the end of it there's something that looks like a bit of food attached to a big log, it's going to be quite a deterrent. They're not stupid. I mean, certainly the bigger ones aren't stupid. That's how they got to be bigger. So I've got yet more and more flies in these pockets to just show how obsessive and bonkers anglers can be. And when they cost about £1 or £1.50 a piece, you can see how you can go into a fishing shop and come out rather penniless. But they're all different and they all have their own application, and that's just a sample of fishing flies. So in here there are different kinds. These are lures float. These are all floating flies. In this box there's lures that sink. If the fish are just feeding subsurface, then you can actually watch what they're feeding on. If they're not coming up to the surface, you are entitled to use a sinking nymph. But the satisfaction from that is nowhere near as great as seeing a fish come up to the surface and, you know, engulf the fly. This represents, well, let me put a few on there. These are the princes of flies. Their Latin name is Ephemera danica. Ephemeral means very short-lived, and indeed they have their couple of years living in the slime and the silt of rivers, and then when the magic time of a particular weather pattern, when it's warm enough and photo period long enough, they will emerge from this rather earthy environment at the bottom of the river, come up to the surface and transform with that incredible manifestation of change, that metamorphosis, sprout wings, and, you know, like a maggot to a butterfly comparison. This absolutely gorgeous throng of mayfly swarming around, looking for a mate, and then in the evening laying their eggs, spinning as it's called, and then floating dead down the river in the evening. They've had their one day of being an adult. It's quite a romance and quite a tragedy at the same time. I was fishing with my friend Derek. We were on a boat in the River Thames, and the fish just weren't cooperating. It was a bitterly cold day. We persevered and persevered, but nothing was happening. But then Derek cast into the area where I was fishing and promptly caught a fish. So at first I was surprised that he'd sort of poached in my area, but very glad that one of us had at least caught a fish. That was the only fish of the day. And I was given to reflecting that only the year before, my friend Derek had been diagnosed with terminal cancer. He'd been given 3 months to live. And on the last day of the fishing season, which would have been March the 14th, he was fishing and giving me reports of how good the fishing was, whereas for me it was Mother's Day. I was entertaining my mother, and a lot of the family were here to celebrate Mother's Day, while I was getting these teasing reports of how good the fishing was from around the country from my friends. And then I was also feeling for Derek, who'd been given only a short period to live, and he was saying, well, it's getting dark, this might be my last ever cast, and that angling adage of just one more cast before we pack up was becoming very vivid and quite poignant. However, through wonderful treatment and faith that he would survive, and good support from friends who were positive, Derek managed to not only survive, but come out with a clean bill of health, that the cancer had disappeared. A cancer which was so advanced that the hospital was flummoxed, that it may not even have been there in the first place, but they certainly had the x-rays showing that it was. He miraculously had a cure. So my assessment was, if Derek wants to catch a fish from my swim, he's welcome, anytime. I'm just so delighted for him that he got his life back from jaws of death.
Find out how deep it is. There's a bit of a drop off now. That is a stop knot, it's a sliding muggler, so that's the depth there.
Lift up. Here we go.
I got something.
We've got something.
Oh,
slowly.
Yay!
Right, keep in mind that.
There you got one.
Well done. Now we should have a cloth, but we haven't got a cloth.
Hello, fish.
Have we got a? You got a disgorger?
I did.
What do you want, disgorger?
Yes, please.
Can I hold the fish?
Give us 1 second. Let me get the hook out.
Can I hold the fish?
You make me move, thanks.
Want me to do it?
I'm not worried, mate.
You right?
Yeah. Cheers, mate.
How? Would it hurt the fish?
No.
Slowly. No? Do you feel something? No? Nothing? Okay, put back.
Oh yeah, I see the float there.
Yeah.
It's harder. Keep it there, then you can watch it, you know?
Yeah. Just move your eyes, just keep tracking, then you can see. Once you lost it, then you can find it again. It's the light. Oh. Yeah.
Go on.
Up.
No.
No?
No. Lost it, maybe.
I saw it.
Right.
One red
The
maggot.
maggots there.
Put the pole that way. So put the pole towards the lake again. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, one maggot escaped. What about the fish? What are you not going to fish? How long can the fish be above water before it dies?
Right, there you go, mate.
Probably put it in the water.
That's all right.
I got
There
it.
you got it.
I got it.
You got it? Put it in there if you want.
Maybe put
Right,
it in
put
the
it back
water.
in the lake.
Put it back in the water and
Right,
in the lake.
Sonny, let's try and get you one, eh?
There we go, in the lake.
Well done, sis.
Shall I tip the water in the lake with the fish?
No, we'll tip it over in a second.
I want to put the fish back in the lake.
All right, we'll do that in a second.
Huh? I haven't even touched the fish.
Sonny, shall we try and get you one?
Yep. Should I put it back in the lake?
Yeah, just do it gentle.
You did it all yourself, you cast it, hadn't you? Right.
Did you
Can you magnify it, please?
I can't hold it for the
It's a very wide lens, get very close. Very good, yeah, it's going to look massive. Fantastic. Do you want to, Elizabeth, where are you?
Go ahead, don't let me.
Do I hold it?
Yeah, sure. So just wet your hands first, so it doesn't damage the fish, don't you? That's it.
You don't want to damage you.
Yeah, that's right, yeah, good. And a bit of a trick, you know, hold the fish closer to the camera.
It looks bigger.
Yeah, and try, if you can open your hands out.
You could be on the front page of Angling News.
Maggot Drowning Weekly.
You had the dud spot.
See if we can catch another one in 10 minutes.
Yes, yeah. No?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's the same fish.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Oh,
the same type of fish, not exactly the same one.
Oh, they already. Wow. So still baby.
Beautiful.
Look at
It's nice
red.
looking, isn't it?
Yeah.
See how his fins on his back they come up. You see? Look. These fish are millions of years old, you know.
Is that right?
They're bred in the waters and they live in them. And when you get a big one, it's spectacular.
Yeah.
Because they're really fierce, you know. They're an old, like a dinosaur. You know? The kid Sonny was like, I don't really mind, and I went, no, I really want you to get one. It's just different.
You probably want it more than them.
I did want it more than them, to be fair.
Yeah, well, you got one of them a fish. So.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's good.
No worries. All right, I'll catch up soon.
See you later.
David, I'll see you soon, mate. Keep catching.
How are you? All right, good. This is the weekend you was talking about, weren't it? Yeah. How's it going?
It's the best
Yeah. So they caught anything?
Yeah, they've had a few out.
Good.
Yeah.
What, mainly roach and perch, I see?
Roach and perch, yeah.
Yeah.
But very hard.
Well,
Fishing
it's a
very
bit
hard.
choppy, isn't it?
Choppy. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
the best place for it today.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they would have been better off on the side.
Oh, what, on over there?
Fishing on the side over there.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
The wind's too in your face and it's just
No.
blowing straight back out.
Yeah.
So,
Especially, are they on float? I can't see.
yeah, they've got a float. All on a whip, so...
Right. He's got a roach pole, hasn't he, that one?
Yeah, they're all roach
Oh, they're all roach poles?
Yeah, just different sizes.
Yeah.
Depending on what angler fancies and everything, so it's not too bad.
Yeah. No. Well, this is sunny. It's not. It could have been raining.
It could have been raining. Could have been no one here.
Could be no one here. Yeah, at least you got people out.
Definitely. Yeah, I'll be back over in the weekend.
Yeah, well, I'm too busy during the week. I'm off on holiday on Thursday, so.
Anywhere nice?
Yeah, Italy, Tuscany.
Oh, nice.
I ain't going fishing though.
Oh, you've got to. There's some good fishing
I know I
over there.
should, but
Some good fishing over there.
Yeah, I'll bet there is.
Hold it up. Hold it a bit higher up here. You can tuck it under your arm. Let's slide it back. It's a bit easier if you hold it. There we are. Is that better? Yeah. Well done. So that'll bring the fish along, we hope. Now let's try again. This is probably a bit difficult for you. We might get a shorter rod. There you are. Tuck it under there again. That's very good. When it goes away, we just lift the rod, okay? Got it? Well done.
Unfortunately, the option of the 3 metre width for the youngster.
I thought that might be better, thanks.
You can find the fish for closer in, but it's up to you. If you need it, shout.
Well, he's managing. We've got a short one if you're finding this too difficult. How old are you?
10.
You should be all right.
Oh, yes. Yes, you did. What? You did.
You have the fish. You have a nice fish. Take it easy. Take it easy.
Do you feel it?
It's a nice fish.
You.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
It's big. It's
Well done,
big.
Daniel.
Too big.
Look, Daniel, hold the line and look towards your mother. Bring it round here. Look.
Good dog, Daniel. Just a second. You say look.
Okay.
Yo, good dog, Daniel. Yo. But we want him to stay alive.
Yes, he will stay alive.
Yo, Daniel.
Now, Daniel.
So big. So big.
Too big.
I think he deserves maggots, no?
And the hook just falls
Can
out.
we give him some maggots?
No.
No, we're not?
Bye-bye.
You just keep pointing the rod at the float. So you point the rod at the float. So you're doing really well. You're holding it just right.
Oh, ducks.
Those are coots.
Oh,
Coots. Right, I'll show you how to put these on. So you take it. See, it's got the maggot's got a pointy end and a blunt end. Okay, and we just put the hook just through the skin.
In.
No, well, just taking a little bit of skin on the maggot, so that we don't. If you burst it, it's no good. It dies. We want it to wriggle.
Why?
Because that makes it look very attractive to the fish. They expect to see it wriggling. So that's one. Okay, let's pop that on. Now let's see if we can cast this out again. Okay. There we go.
It's there.
Where?
It's just there.
Yeah, point it. When you point it, you will see where is it?
Just there.
Up a little bit. Just in.
You can pull it back and tuck it under your arm. That's it. So it's a bit shorter. Well done. You don't want to overdo it because they'll all get full and they've had enough to eat and they won't come and want your bait anymore.
Why?
Because they'll have had their dinners. So we give them just enough food to get them interested, but not so much that they're full. Now we have to watch that float very carefully.
Three small potatoes, but they're all like that.
You know what that means? When you keep looking and suddenly you find you're almost in a trance. Particularly all these ripples.
What's that one?
That's for water. We put the fish in there, and that's just what that was for. I had some ground bait in it earlier. This stuff.
No more.
Hey, fish are. Oh, yeah, gone.
What? How?
You nearly. It went right down. We just missed it.
Yeah, just mistake.
Let's
Yeah.
check.
Just in the very tip, almost like the skin of it, so push it through a bit more,
So
through.
it comes
That's
on the other-
perfect. That's it.
Yeah, bravo.
That's it.
Bravo.
Then the point of the hook is showing. Cold.
Yeah, my hands.
Have you got any? See if your father's got. Have you
我行過嚟，我
Have
行
you
過
got a
嚟。
sweater?
I'm going to drop Kate Justin.
Yeah. Have you got any more clothes?
You wait here, Justin. Yeah. I'll give you one coat for you, Justin.
He's going to get you a coat.
Oh, gone.
No, it's still there.
Oh,
Throw that in. You want to throw some of those in?
oh, amazing. Gone.
There we are.
Yay! Yay! Yay!
Well, little perch.
What's that, Tris?
It's a perch.
Me.
Yeah, we'll take it off and you can have a look at it. There we go.
Amazing.
It's got it right inside. So what we're going to do...
Cut it.
No, we're not going to cut it.
Why?
We've got little things to look it up with. There we are. We can use this. Put this on here.
And then?
Push it down inside.
Bacon.
Oh, look, he's got all that. Look at all those maggots he's eaten. See, he's been eating up all the ones we put down there. Let's pop him in here. There you are. Your father can see that.
Oh, yeah. Vincent, Daddy.
We'll put another one on.
Let me take one. Wait, this one.
You just caught one.
Yeah. Wait. Name fast. Go there. And Katie, go there.
You go, Jason.
Oh!
We'll show your father in a minute, and then we'll put the fish back. Hold it. Okay. I'm going to fill this up with water. We'll move the fish into the water. Very lively. There we go. Now you can see him. Now your brother just caught this one.
Oh, hang on, chaps, guys.
There you are.
Sorry, what are your names?
Katie.
Can you come to a name tag here?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dad's just disappeared. I'm not quite sure where.
Go around for quite a long time, an hour, 2 hours. And then further up the line we have these shot. Can you see?
Yeah.
They are weights which make this. See the float is lying flat.
Yeah.
These weights make it stand upright, so there's just that red tip showing.
Cool. And then when it goes
And
down,
when it
there's a
goes
fish.
under,
Great.
there's a fish pulling, and you need to lift the rod quickly but not violently.
Okay. These ones wiggle more than that one. How come?
That's wriggling quite a lot.
No, this box is wiggling more than the other box.
Oh right, these are newer.
Ah.
It's fresher bait. So I've been putting. Do you know how big a coffee table is?
Yeah.
Straighten the hook out.
Yeah. Bigger.
Are you able to close it, John?
I have. I've closed it up.
You know how big a coffee table is?
Yeah.
Right.
We caught one.
You caught one?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Here.
Whoa!
Mom.
We just kept it to show to you.
Nice.
We caught one.
We lost a big one actually. There's a
I'm surprised. You should put this on. I didn't
Yeah,
know
my
it was
hands.
fluorescent orange.
幫你
應該如果係咪我冇知道佢先。
媽咪幫你 photo 啊，我幫你 photo 過嚟 photo。Justin hold it.
Hold
Justin.
him over the water, just in case you drop
No. Justin here.
No, hold him under here. Okay. That's good. Well done.
Okay.
And you pop him in there.
Okay. Fall
in the water. Oh,
no.
Not too hard.
Oh.
Well done.
My hand's cold.
Well done. Yeah, it's okay.
Man's life is but vain, for 'tis subject to pain and sorrow, and short as a bubble. 'Tis a hodgepodge of busyness and money and care, and care and money and trouble. 'Tis a hodgepodge of busyness and money and care, and care and money and trouble. But we'll take no care when the weather grows fair, nor will we vex now the old rain. We'll banish all sorrow and sing till tomorrow, and angle again. We'll banish all sorrow and sing till tomorrow, and angle again.